So coming to the next lecture, that is continuing with the PP plot or QQ plot. It is sometimes also called the probability paper plot or PPP, or a more technical term would be QQ plot, quantile plot. So let us see the example of this guy, what we call as the exponential distribution. So for exponential distribution, so if fx is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus lambda x, what did we write? We wrote xi is equal to 1 by lambda into minus log natural of 1 minus pi, and we said there has to be a way of finding out pi. Now how do I find pi? Now there is an empirical procedure. The way pi is found out is pi is basically found out by this formula I divided by n plus 1. So what do you do is basically you take so you will have xi, that is the data. Now the data will be provided to you. Now the question that we ask, if I have missed or if you have missed the point, is the question of parameter estimation is the data will be provided to you. You will know the data. So this guy will exist for you, right? So x1 to xn, this exists for you. This data is provided. Let's say the wave heights, the maximum wave height in let's say 24-hour period, right? So you make two observations, half hourly observations, that is twice in an hour. So in 24-hour period you will have 48 observations, wave heights, which are very random, right? So now the question that I ask is, what sort of random variable does it follow? We don't know. Nobody will tell us upfront, and you cannot assume Gaussian. So what to do is use this QQ plot. So the whole idea is I will give you the data, you tell me what distribution does it fit in and what are the parameters of the distributions. So there are two questions. First is the distribution selection, number one, and parameter estimation, right? Two questions. So first you take the data and then you sort this in ascending order, meaning the lowest one, you start with the lowest one and this is the highest one, okay, in terms of magnitude. So you're just using the sort, basically the sort command. So this one, this guy, the topmost data will have a rank of 1, the second one will have a rank of 2, the third one will have a rank of 3, and the last one will have a rank of n, the highest one, right? So you sort this and find out the ranks. That is, the lowest one will have a rank of 1, the second one will have a rank of 2, the third one is rank 3, and the last one, it has the rank of n. And then you apply the formula pi is equal to I by capital N plus 1. Why capital N plus 1? This ensures that you don't get a probability probability 1, because when I is equal to n by n would make probability 1. You have to avoid 1 probabilities. Now that's a very dangerous situation. So in order to avoid that, the probabilities are found in such a way that this is I by n plus 1. The last or the highest, the probability corresponding to the largest or the highest value will be pretty close to 1 but not exactly equal to 1. So once you have done that, the first step is xi, then you sort the data, do the rank, and then you find out pi. Now once you have found out pi, then what you do, so first step is your xi is given, then you sort the data, then rank the data, and then the fourth step is find pi. So once you have done this, now how do you find out let's say once you have found out the pi, so what you have to do is you have to find out this F inverse P. Now this is where the main catch comes. That's the catch 22 situation. Why? Because there are so many possibilities of random variables. It could be normal distribution, it could be log normal distribution, it could be exponential distribution, it could be Gumbel distribution, it could be Weibull distribution, it could be gamma distribution, beta distribution. So many distributions are possible. So this is where the limitation of this approach comes, is you have to have a library of pre-selected distribution candidates, right? Let's say 7 or 8 candidates, and for each of those candidates you repeat the same process. So first assume that the data is normal distribution, do this exercise. Then you assume the data is exponential distribution, do this exercise. Then maybe log normal, then maybe Gumbel, Weibull, all of that. So basically some 7-8 possibilities. Then how do you break the tie? Like, what is the deal breaker? So when you draw the plot, remember this QQ plot is all about assuming a linear relationship, right? So when you draw the plot, you are assuming a linear relationship, right? So linear relationship, there is a test of linearity which is called as the R square, the coefficient of determination. This R square, for the perfect distribution candidate, this R square should be, let's say, close to 1, like let's say 0.99 or 0.98, basically close to 1. So whichever gives you the highest value of R square actually breaks the deal for you. So for each of these distributions, you do this exercise and find out the R square, and whichever gives you the highest R square is actually the candidate distribution for the data. So you have to remember, this is little weird, but this is slightly abuse of notations. Your y-axis is actually xi, which is basically your data, okay, and your x-axis is basically your F inverse Pi, right, which is basically the quantile. So we assume, the assumption is a linear relationship is assumed between the data and the quantile, and this is plotted, and what you can do is you can get the parameters from the slope and the intercept. From the slope and the intercept you can get the parameters, but most importantly, how do you select the distribution is by R square. So R square gives you distribution selection, the slope and the intercept gives you the parameters of the distribution, right? So this is the whole idea. Now in this case, for example, this is one parameter exponential. So for exponential distribution there is only one parameter. So but usually distributions come with 2 parameters. You rarely get one parameter distributions. So let's say if I were to sort of make it slightly more interesting, so what I could do is I could maybe make it lambda x minus mu, right? So this is sometimes called as the 2 parameter exponential. So then what happens? You get this, plus you will get, for 2 parameter exponential, you will get mu. So read off the slope gives you 1 by lambda, and the intercept gives you mu. So you can get the parameters as well, and then you know how to select the distributions. So most of the distributions will be 2 parameter family, and we can deal with 2 parameter distributions very elegantly. But if there are 3 parameters, then there is trouble. This approach will have a lot of issues, okay? But in general we avoid 3 parameter. I mean, there are ingenious ways of avoiding 3 parameter distribution candidates.